Good evening, all. Welcome to this episode in my series of faith, food, family, and friends. The story that I'm going to share with you tonight is one that holds a very special place in my heart. It is a personal one. It is something that happened 23 years back, and still I remember the details that I'm speaking about as if it were yesterday. And so I hope you enjoy listening to it as much as I enjoy sharing this with you. Now, I have spoken about this experience of mine to certain students in my influence years back when I talked about priorities. However, some of the details might be new for even my parents, so it might be a surprise to them, but I hope that they will be pleasantly surprised. For the first 17 years of my life, I lived and studied in Dubai, and I might have spoken about that in some of my previous videos. I was a student at an Indian school. I remember that I was encouraged to do well in my studies. I was good in almost all the subjects, but especially maths. That happened to be one of my favorites. May not be for everyone I know, but I just had to put it out there. Now, I remember writing my year 10 examinations, the final exams for year 10. It was something big because I had to go to another school to physically write the exam. My friends in the roll call sat, who were before and after me, sat in front and behind. I still can visualize this. I still can see the hall in which, I wrote the exam. Now, a few weeks later, when the results came, I remember my marks as well as clearly. I got 414 out of 500, which is 82.8%. Romans 8:28 comes to mind now, but that was not something that I was very mindful of back then. Anyone who sees this mark, 82.8%, will think that it was a good result, and it was. However, I had 52% in Hindi. I was not sure why I did not do better, and I was a bit disappointed. In all the prelims, I always had close to 80%, but I could not do anything about it, and I had to just move on. As I went into year 11 and year 12, taking my subjects of choice, I remember a goal in my mind, perhaps imprinted by some feedback by my parents. In year 12, I needed to get 90%. For me, attending classes and finishing my homework along with attending the tuition classes in year 12 was all that I did. No late nights, nothing too dramatic. If anything, the one dramatic thing that I did do was insisting on attending a convention where the speaker, Dr. Muralidharan, I still remember, spoke from Luke chapter 15. I remember the message spoken that night. I remember it was the night before the day of my mathematics final exam. Fast forward a few weeks, 7th April 1998. I finished my last exam for year 12, and that evening boarded a flight to go to New Delhi for a crash course that prepares me for entrance examinations, the ones that possibly gave me a chance at trying for a seat in engineering or medicine, which were the only electives that most people opted for at the time, and I hear perhaps still are the preferred options in certain nations. It was not going to be an easy month. I would spend my 17th birthday a few weeks later with my mom and my uncle and my cousins, but miss the rest of my clan in Dubai. While in Delhi, I remember one evening sitting alone in my room. I talked to God. This is one of the first prayers with God where I learned to just talk to him and be myself. I prayed for this one thing: God, help me to get 90%, but I don't want my picture in the newspapers. You see, as funny as you might think it is right now, I hated seeing myself in pictures. I'm not sure if this practice still exists, but the day the results are published, the students who have done the best in their respective schools, in the first, second, or third position, have their pictures in the newspaper. There are 2 to 3 pages just containing pictures of the students from different schools who have excelled, but at least who have got the first 3 positions, let's say. And so the day came. My results came. He answered my prayer. I got 451 out of 500, 90.2%. Did my picture come in the newspaper, you ask? Well, no. There were 3 others who had better marks than me, and my name and picture was not featured in the newspapers. What I did get that I didn't ask for was the highest marks in mathematics and all the schools in the Gulf countries, and a beautiful memoir which I still have till date. I learned that day that I need to be mindful of what I pray for. You can be specific and get an answer that you have visualized and seen for yourself. But his ways are higher than yours. Was that 90% mark something that helped me in the future? I'm not really sure. May I have actually done better? Most definitely. We sometimes give a picture of what we think is the best for our life and then pray to God, dictating the outcome to be exactly that. He is a good father, wanting the best for each of his children. What he has seen as the best for you may be different than what you picture for yourself. But allow yourself to be in constant fellowship with him. Seek his will for your life. Don't let God be your barter system where you do long prayers and praying to him for your specific needs, and you praise him as you wait or even receive the answer exactly as you saw it. Allow him to take joy as he sees you, his child, enjoying those precious moments that he had prepared especially for you. He loves you. He sees you. He delights in you. God bless you, my friends. Until next time.